Well, a couple days after we heard that Damian Lillard and the Blazers have pretty much want to stay together, finally Damian Lillard has requested a trade, and the Dame saga in Portland, seems over. I mean, wow, there's been speculation for like the last 5 years. This Blazers team isn't good enough for Dame. Dame should request a trade, but still, he's remained loyal. But now I think it's reached, like, it's just too bad where this team just has no chance of contending for a title, and it seems like Dame finally wants a trade. Also, remember that 2021 trade request, or like in 2021 you requested a trade and then it wasn't real? I mean, I doubt that's gonna happen, but like, I feel like everyone forgets about that. But yeah, so Dame, I mean, this trade request seems legit. It was from Woj, Shams, Chris Haynes, all of the top sports outlets, and man, it's crazy that finally, I mean, it makes sense. This Blazers team pretty much has, we'll talk more about the Blazers later, but they have this solid young core, and they really, with Dame there, it's just like a weird mix of win now and young players that need to develop. So it makes sense, but like, it's finally happened, and there's been a couple clear suitors for Dame. I think the clear one, of course, the Miami Heat. Shams reported that the team that Dame wants to go to is Miami Heat, but of course, he doesn't have no trade clause like Bradley Beal, so the Blazers can trade him wherever they think he can get the most value, the most draft picks, most young players, but I would assume that they are going to take that into consideration. Of course, they want to do what's best for their franchise, but like, Dame is probably the greatest player in Blazer history. Oh, him or Clyde Drexler, it's pretty close, but like, I would personally take Dame, but like, well, they'll probably respect like where he wants to go, but like, it's not going to be the end-all be-all, okay, we're only trading you to the Miami Heat. So it's interesting because like the Heat, of course, they missed out on Bradley Beal. I mean, I think they would have had to trade a little bit less for Beal, but of course, the Suns got him. And then of course the package of Tyler Hero, a young player, Duncan Robinson, I don't know, Kyle Lowry, a couple young players, like their draft picks, and then they have a couple first round picks. I know it's not like a crazy amount, they traded in a couple other deals, but like, that's honestly a solid deal, especially if they believe that Tyler Hero can be a good player. A couple draft picks, maybe they hope that another one of those young players that Miami drafted can be a steal, like, I don't know, like the next Bam Adebayo, the next, I don't know, Gabe Vincent, like a random player that suddenly becomes good. Maybe they can hope that can happen, but like, I mean, him on the Heat would be absolutely incredible. We saw this postseason that the offensive struggles of the Heat really cost them. I mean, they had, of course, Jimmy taking over, especially in the first round series, but like, besides that, of course, Caleb Martin, Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, they're incredible, and their offense wasn't bad. Like in the finals, we saw the struggles, how they struggled to score points. Their defense was amazing, but like, if they have one of the greatest scorers in our generation, don't forget how good Damian Lillard is. I mean, crossing half court is pretty much a threat from anywhere. He's fast, he can drive to the basket. He just had his best season, averaging like 32 points a game, and if he wasn't injured, he would have definitely made All-NBA team. Like, Damian Lillard is still that guy, and he's still locked up to a big contract, but like, I mean, he's worth that contract, first of all, and also, he's locked up to multiple years, so you don't have to worry about him leaving in free agency like James Harden would. So, I like it. I mean, we saw, like I said, in this playoff run, adding that another shot creator, especially when Tyler Hero was out in the playoffs, and maybe he isn't the best defensively, okay, but like, he's that leader. I think he's another dog. He fits in that Miami culture. I think him, Jimmy, and Bam, that would be quite a big three. I mean, of course, it sucks that they lost a lot of their role players. Gabe Vincent went to the Lakers. They signed and traded Max Strus. I think they only got like a second round pick back, but it seemed like they had a plan. I mean, of course, you would rather have Damian Lillard than like Max Strus and Gabe Vincent, which of course they're amazing players, but like, having Damian Lillard is just special. So, I mean, it kind of sucks that they had to lose those guys. Their depth might be a problem if they do end up getting Dame. I mean, they have Kevin Love still, they have Caleb Martin, they have, I don't know, like Hayward, Highsmith, some players like that. I'm sure they can maybe sign some low-key free agents this offseason if they do end up with Dame, but like, man, the fit's good. The Blazers, I mean, getting Tyler Hero, I don't think that's a bad move. Getting a couple first-round picks, maybe you don't like the Duncan Robinson contract very much, but it's interesting. And then if you go, Woj also said that the Clippers, 76ers, and Knicks also seem, I'm not sure he said the Knicks, but like, those teams are also interested. Makes sense. I mean, the Clippers, I really don't see, because they don't really have that young asset. They have like, they can barely trade any picks, of course, because they traded all the way in the Paul George trade. Paul George isn't going to get traded. They don't need Paul George. So I don't really think they have the value for Dame. Of course, him on the Clippers would be absolutely crazy. Of course, with Dame, Kawhi, PG, they still probably going to have a lot of depth there. I really doubt that's gonna happen. And then the Sixers, I've heard reports that they don't want to trade Tyrese Maxey, and if you don't trade Tyrese Maxey, there's no way you're getting Dame, especially because they don't have a lot of their draft picks. So I don't know. I've heard reports of a Harden swap, but like why would the Blazers want to do that? Why would they want another aging star that's just gonna probably leave in free agency, that's gonna take away minutes from their young guys? So I don't really see that. And then the Nets, I mean, Woj and Shams didn't really talk about the Nets, but honestly, I mean, he's good buddies with Mikal Bridges. They have all those picks from like the Kyrie trade, the Kevin Durant trade. They have some Sixers pick from the James Harden trade, and they have some, I mean, young players like, I don't think they can trade Cameron Johnson, but like Cam Thomas. I don't think it's like the most enticing offer, especially because the Nets don't have their own draft picks. But like him on the Nets would be pretty cool. There's been rumors about him wanting to go to the Nets, but like honestly, it's probably not gonna happen. The Nets are probably just gonna build around Mikal, try to just build internally. Just don't go for the big names every time, which we've seen that's failed them twice. So I doubt that. And then the Knicks, I mean, they have Brunson. I think that like him and Brunson, Dame and Brunson would be pretty rough. I mean, I guess they would trade RJ Barrett. They still have a lot of first round picks. Like I think they have all of their picks. They have a couple extra picks, but like, I mean, Dame would of course be really cool. They wanted Donovan Mitchell before, but like having Brunson really changes stuff. I don't know how that would work. I mean, maybe they would trade Randall, but I don't know. But like still, honestly, the suitors for Dame isn't really that crazy. Like last season, the suitors for Donovan Mitchell were pretty high, but like a lot of these teams have traded all the first round picks, B, already have a good point guard, or just don't have the young assets enough to entice the Blazers for Damian Lillard. So, I mean, it's interesting. I'm sure that the Heat are probably the most convenient one for the Blazers because they get first Dame wants to go there, and then they can also get a couple young players, some draft picks, and sure, maybe it isn't like that top 75 player of all time haul that like Anthony Davis got or like Kevin Durant got, but like still it's a solid package. But like honestly, for the Blazers, there's been reports that they're looking for draft picks and young players. Makes sense, but they're also not prioritizing, like I said, what Dame wants. Like, they're not going to trade into the Blazers no matter what, but like, this Blazers team has a solid, nice core. I mean, it's going to be the Scoot Henderson show. Scoot Henderson, I believe, could be the first overall pick in almost any other draft. That's how good Scoot is. He's athletic. He's crazy athletic. His mid-range is pretty decent. His three-point shot is evolving, and he just gives off Ja Morant, like, Derrick Rose vibes. And I honestly, with this being his team, I think that's definitely going to be a good situation for him. And then you have Shaedon Sharpe. I mean, he was one of the most promising rookies last year, especially after like the end of last season where like he took over. He's of course one of the youngest players in the league still. And then you have like Anthony Simons. I mean, I really don't know if he's going to stay there because he already had those two guards, but like he's a 20-point per game scorer, high volume three-point shooter. Any team would want that. And then of course, the Jeremy Grant contract kind of sucks now after you give a guy that Dame wants to keep, but then Dame is gone, 5-year, 160. Like, for Jeremy Grant, who's almost 30 years old already, I really don't know how I'm gonna feel about that. I mean, it's not the best contract. 5 years really doesn't help that a lot, but like, Yusuf Nurkic, I mean, he's on a long contract, pretty expensive. I doubt they can trade him, but like, this Blazers team is honestly pretty solid. Of course, hitting the reset button is definitely what a lot of people want and I wanted, especially when you have Scoot Henderson, Shaedon Sharpe, Anthony Simons, like a couple of young players that you can build around. I think this is a good move. We'll see what happens. Maybe Dame gets traded in the next week, the next month, who knows, but make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below where you think Dame will go, and I'll see you on next time.